Okay, so hi, hello everyone. Welcome again. I hope now you can see the screen properly and you can see the Kali Linux also. So, hi. So let's start today's session. Okay. So before starting, let me introduce myself first. If you don't know me, myself Vikas Sharma, and I'm a certified ethical hacker and a certified EC Council instructor. And I will be taking this 2 to 3 hour of session on mastering Kali Linux. Got it? So let me first of all summarize what topics we'll be covering in today's session. Okay, each and every point, each and everything we'll be discussing today, and based on that, we'll start one by one. Okay, so just let me share my whiteboard. Before starting, let me first of all explain you about the system requirements for using Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is one of the very popular operating system, which is basically used by each and every security researcher, cybersecurity expert, ethical hackers and hackers, because it is the one of the popular security tool used for penetration testing, which means like you will be finding each and every tools, each and every like resources to perform particular activity like scanning, enumeration, uh, malware analysis, vulnerability analysis, then finding out bugs, exploiting, creating payloads, writing down scripts, trying remote code execution, or just example of anything, Kali gives you that. Okay, and that's why Kali Linux is used, uh, is used by a lot of ethical hackers, basically for penetration testing. Now, there are a lot of other operating systems, for example, Parrot. Okay. How many of you heard about Parrot operating system? Please tell me in the live chat. Let me know. How many of you heard about Parrot operating system? It's also a kind of Linux-based operating system just for penetration testing. And how many of you using the Parrot? Any one of you have ever used Parrot operating system? Please type in the live chat. Let me know. Let me see how many of you have already used it. Yeah, just give me a moment, everyone. I'm just I just need 1 minute. Just give me a minute. Sorry, everyone. Let's start. Okay, so those of you just now who connected, today we are going to cover out Kali Linux, where I will be explaining you about how to use Kali Linux, how to install Kali Linux, and how to use each and every command in Kali Linux, and how to make sure that how to understand about each and every configuration in Kali Linux, which can help you to perform and use different tools and perform hacking with the help of Kali Linux. Okay, whatever your requirement is, we need Kali Linux a lot of times. So you, after this session, you will be able to use Kali Linux properly. Okay. Okay. So even if you don't have any basic like understanding on Kali, that's not an issue. So please don't worry about that. As I can see some chat, like if you're not having any background about it, doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. So let's start. Now, as I can see, most of you have said like you have used Parrot operating system and all, and some of you have not ever used it. So first of all, let me explain about Kali Linux. Now, Kali Linux is one of the best security testing tool, or you can say penetration testing tool, which is used by ethical hacker, as I already explained. Now, if you want to download Kali or just want to install Kali, you can go to Kali's official website. So let me share the whole screen. Okay, so just, I hope my screen is visible to you. So this is the Kali website, official Kali website. You can see here that they're having multiple installations of Kali. Okay, so what Kali Linux you need to use, it depends on your system. So first of all, suppose if you're having a laptop or computer and if you're having a good configuration and you're already using Windows, you can install VMware or VirtualBox. So VMware is like uh, a virtual machine player. Now, just like an audio player, video player, how we play a video with the help of video player, right? We need a player for that, so that we can play out the videos and the audios. The different files needs different players. Like we have VLC media player, we have Windows media player. Just giving an example. Now, virtual machine players are like it is a tool which helps you to create a virtual partition in your hard disk and create an instance of a software. It could be anything. Okay. Now we will be installing a operating system inside a virtual machine. Got it? So it won't be a actual installation. Your Windows will be the primary operating system, but inside that you can use VirtualBox. This VirtualBox is by Oracle. It's free for everyone. You don't have to pay anything. Or you can go with VMware. VMware also they have a free version, but if you want to just go with lifetime free and nothing else, just go for VirtualBox. It's an open source tool. Okay. Once you install VirtualBox, just download and install normally. You'll see something like this. Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. Got it? Now this software will help you out to set up multiple instances, like multiple virtual machines. Why we need a virtual machine? So Kali Linux, we can install normally in your computer. Like if you want to install Kali as your primary operating system, you can do that. For that, you need to make your pen drive bootable, or you can burn a CD and then install it by default. But that we don't recommend. Why? Because you can just create multiple instances to create a private environment, like a virtual environment, because we will be practicing and we'll be just trying out. So instead of removing your previous Windows and doing other things, just install the virtual machine, this VMware or the VirtualBox. And after installing the VirtualBox, go back to the Kali website and download the virtual machine images. So Kali is having different formats. Either you can install with the help of the ISO file, which is like just like Windows, how we install Windows in a pen drive by burning it and okay. And other one is virtual machine. that's smaller version, and it's more compatible for the virtual machine players, especially. So if you're using a VMware or VirtualBox, just click on this, and you will see they're having VMware versions, VirtualBox versions, Hyper-V, and some others. So right now we are using VirtualBox, correct? So you can just click on any of these VMware or VirtualBox. I'm using VirtualBox. I can click any of these and just download the file. You can use torrent and or the other options. It's of around 2.7 to 3 GB. Once it is downloaded, it will be saved in your computer, correct? After it is downloaded, just click on new. Okay, just click on new, create the, just give it a name, select the folder. Just the meeting is anyhow getting recorded, so it will be anyhow shared. So if you want to like save in your system, that's different. But yeah, it will be shared. So please just go with the session, okay? The recording will be provided anyhow. Yeah, so click on new and just create a name, select the folder where you want to save and just save it, okay? Or just give me one. Okay, good. Okay. So now suppose once you download the Kali Linux, once the virtual machine file is downloaded, you can just create a new or just import. So we will be importing. Why? Because the file which we'll be getting from the Kali Linux website, that we can directly import. Just select the location, select the file, the Kali Linux location, and just click next and finish it out. Okay, it will be exported and you will see something like this, Kali Linux. Got it? Or you can simply create a new one also. Just select from the downloaded, like the file which you have downloaded from the website. It will be having VVL or some virtual machine extension. Just click on that and import it from there also. Both ways it will work. Once it is done, you will see something like this. Now, suppose if you are having 4 GB of RAM, so at least give 1 GB RAM to the virtual machine, because once you start using it, it also needs some good RAM so that we can do the activities. Got it? Is it clear till now? Like how to use the virtual machine, how to use the Kali Linux as a virtual machine in Windows? Any doubts, anyone? You can see here all the configurations. So now I will explain you about some configurations of the Kali Linux, so that every one of you, once you start using it, some of you might face some issues because there are some problems which you need to sort out with the help of different steps. So that I will explain. For some of you, it might not work. It might show some problem that unable to start the virtual machine, VTX errors. There are a lot of things which I will explain now. Before that, let me know if it is clear or not how to download and install. That will be same for Mac OS also. It's not different for Mac OS and Windows. Okay, VMware VirtualBox is available for Mac OS also, so you can do the same thing how we are doing now. It's all same. That's why if it is different, I will like simply let you know. Okay, but it's same. Okay, so now suppose once it is imported, once the virtual machine, once the instance is created, you can see right now it's powered off. Like I have not started the machine yet. Let's first go through the settings and configuration here. First, general, it will contain just few information like your system name, like the machine name and all. Some advanced functions are there, descriptions. In system, you can define RAM. I have given 2 GB of RAM right now. You can see here, and you can just give 1 GB, 2, 3 if you're having more. The more you give, it will be better for you only to perform a lot of different activities simultaneously. Okay. Then we have the processor. Okay, so if you know about how many processor you have, you can just give that much of configuration. If you have 4 cores, you can just give 2 like that. Okay. display and all, we don't have to do anything, storage, audio, nothing else. We do network. Now, for some of you, once you install and once you start using Kali, once you create an instance of it, for some of you, the internet might not work inside Kali. Okay. Now, what happens? We are not installing the operating system like as a primary operating system. So whatever hardware you are having in your laptop, computer, that hardware is something which is installed physically, right? So you're creating a virtual machine. So we need to create a network, a proper network configuration, so that our virtual machine can connect to the same network what exactly we are having right now also. Because for some of you, you might not be able to use the internet in Cali because of the Wi-Fi adapter. It happens mostly in Dell computers, or sometimes it happens in HP also. So to fix that, if you're not having an adapter, just buy one external adapter. If you're not having a Wi-Fi, or if you're having a LAN, if you're using from cable, you can also use that. Otherwise, if you want to use our Wi-Fi, just get an adapter. So you can see here, right now I'm having a adapter from Intel by default. So I can see here, and right now I have selected bridge adapter. What is bridge adapter? Now, whatever adapter I'm having by default right now, using which I'm connected to the internet, that same will be bridged to the virtual machine also, which means inside the Kali. And the Kali will get its own network with the internet. Okay. Suppose if it is not working for you, you can select different configuration. You can select NAT. NAT will also be able to connect, but it is for different activities and all. So I will explain one by one. First of all, so suppose if you're not able to use internet, just try to change it to bridge adapter and save it. Okay. For some of you, it might not be saved by default. That's what I'm explaining now. Okay. Try changing it to bridge adapter. It will work for sure. Or just change it to NAT network. Save, restart, and then try again. So first, internet is very important in the Kali so that we can do our activities and all. And the other thing, just leave it as it is. Okay. Now let me start my instance. So let it boot now. Some of you asked me, what if I want to use Kali Linux as a live boot? Live boot means like if you want to use Kali Linux without installing virtual machines and all, you can just make your pen drive USB bootable with the Kali ISO file, and then once you start your computer, just put the pen drive and boot with the pen drive instead of Windows. Now, what happens in that case? You will be only able to use Kali once. Okay, like right now, I can just navigate through my Windows and Kali. Right now, I'm using Windows, and I can just go back to the Kali machine. Got it? That you can't do if you use a live boot. Okay, USB boot. Also, second thing, that was the first point. Second is whatever you do in that case, whatever you save, store, do your activities, it all gets saved into a temporary memory. Okay. Right now it will be saved for permanent in your C drive. But in that case, if you make your live bootable pen for Kali, all the data will be temporary. Once you remove your pen drive, again use the Windows, and again third time if you want to use Kali again, you will see that each and every data, whatever you have done is gone. Whatever tool you have installed is gone. Okay, that's how it works. That's why we recommend to use virtual machines. Now by default, you will get username and password like Kali and Kali. Just use that, or just try different password like admin password. It might be different for you. And once it is done, you will see something like this. Okay, this is the Kali Linux normal interface. Okay, you can see that it's also like graphical user interface. You will be able to see icons, files, folders, tools, cursor. But this is how a Kali Linux machine looks like. Any doubt till now? Anyone? Let me know in the live chat. If you're having any queries now, you can ask. One of you asked difference between Red Hat Kali, okay, and Kali Linux. So Red Hat Kali is a enterprise solution. Okay, it's a commercial solution which is used by like companies. They use Red Hat enterprise solutions to secure their like to do their kind of work. Okay, it's a separate solution. Okay, for commercial users and all. Moreover, Kali Linux, what we are using is a user-based solution, user-based kind of machine, test lab, you can say, operating system. Which is basically used for like personal usages. Okay, that's how we install the Kali, and that's how we just use it. But installation is very normal. You don't have to do anything in the installation. Just as I've explained you just now, just import it, download, import, or create new, and it will be installed. You don't need to do anything. Okay, it's not like Windows. You have to select disk and all. It's like a normal direct installation if you're downloading the virtual image file. Okay, let's proceed. This is how Kali Linux looks like. Now, once we start using Kali Linux, the very first thing is to get familiar with the terminal. Okay, this is Kali Linux terminal. Now, it's just like somewhat CMD. If you're familiar with command prompt of Windows, we know how command prompt works. Like we use ping commands, we use the basic commands and all. But there are some commands which also works in CMD, and it's same in the Kali also. Okay, but Kali is a way different. It's having way more advanced commands, and it's way more like it's like having way more features than the CMD, because Windows is like a GUI based operating system. Is more it's more graphical user interface, user interactive, whereas in the Kali we mostly do our activities with the help of the commands. Okay, for zoom out you can do control plus minus and control plus. Okay. Okay, one of you is saying my voice is not clear. Please let me know if it is having any issues or not. Let me know in the live chat, anyone. It seems to be fine for me. Okay, let's proceed then. So this is the terminal, and I will show you a few commands before starting in the Kali that you need to understand. Okay, and just try to practice out those commands. Okay. Okay. Now, one more thing. How many of you heard about backtrack? Anyone heard about backtrack? Okay. Well, backtrack is a more familiar, it might be a more familiar name to you. Now, backtrack is the old version of Kali Linux. Okay. So backtrack is known as the old version of the Kali Linux distribution, and it was like in 2016. So we used to work with backtrack, and then it got major updates and then got renamed to Kali Linux. Okay. Now in the terminal, let's understand about few basic commands. Okay. Before understanding about basic commands, this is the prompt, and here you can see Kali and Kali. That means like this is the user. This is the user who is logged in. Got it? And this is the sign which will basically show you that you are currently in which directory at which location. Got it? So right now we can see this one. This is for the user, that we are in the user directory. Now, if you want to go in the root directory, like there are multiple directories in the Kali Linux machine. Obviously, in each and every operating system, there are multiple directories. And in Kali, obviously we are having the option to just navigate with the help of the cursor only. Double click, go to the folders and files. But here you can't go to the root directories and the other directories. It would be very hard and tough to find out that, okay, and navigate through that. But it's easy in Kali to do that same thing with the help of what? Command. Okay. So CD is what we use for changing the directories. Now, in Windows, if you want to go from one folder to other folder, we double click, single click, we open that, we know how it is done, right? CD is what is used for changing the directory. Okay. Now, CD backslash. This will help us to change our directory to the root folder. What is a root folder, anyone? Anyone knows about root directory? Now, from the term itself, it is clear root means like the starting point. Okay. Now, in the directory structure, in the directory system, basically in Windows or in any other operating system, directories are defined in a tree structure, correct? Like there are multiple directories inside of inside directory, there will be multiple files inside a directory, like that. So it's like a tree structure. So if you want to go to the root directory from where the everything comes from, you can just type cd and backslash, and you can see that the location will change from this to this, which means right now we are in the root directory. Okay. This confirms that the directory we have successfully changed our location. Now, that was cd, change directory. After that, we have another command known as ls. ls stands for listing out. Now, suppose if we are inside a directory and we need to check how many files, folders, and information or data is there inside the particular location, particular directory. Either you can type just ls, which will give you all the listings of the files and folders available there. You can see the colors also. It depends on the color, like what permission the files are having, the folders are having, which I will explain later on. So once I type ls, I see these folders: home, opt, var. Now these are the folders and directories which is there in the root directory, root folder. Okay, which normally a normal user won't deal anything, like they won't be interacting with these folders because we can't see anything in here. Correct. So that is the list command to list out everything inside the directory. Now you can see home here, right? Now let's again go back to the home. Okay, right now we are inside the home, you can see here. And again type ls. Okay, this will list out the other file and folders available inside the directory. So you can see Kali. Let's go to Kali. And then again you can see the same sign again, this one, which means again we are back to the user directory. So just try to use the cd ls command and get familiar with the location, kind of how it works, how the location is there, how it is showing. Okay, so it's very important to practice and learn first how to navigate through the directories in Kali Linux. Got it? That was cd and ls. Now these are the commands, like these are the few basic commands I just now explained. I will explain about few more commands, but before that, suppose if you want to understand few commands, okay, and there are a lot of ways to use that particular command, like ls. In ls, if we add -la, it will give something like this. The results are same, the files and the folders, but it is including few hidden files. The files which contains dot before the name, they are known as the hidden files, like which we cannot see normally. It is hidden, but we can see everything in that terminal. And we see the same thing, desktop is there. So we are in the user file. So desktop, documents, downloads, and the other files are there. What is the difference? This is the difference. We can see the permissions there. Okay, it's having write permission, execute permission, read permission, and the permission is for the user or root. So this is what we can see extra if we apply these flag values. So there are a lot of ways to use a command. Now suppose if you want to understand how many flag values I can use with the command, how to use that command, then you can use the simple command in the Kali, which is known as help. Suppose I want to know how to use ls. Okay, so just type -help. Sometimes you just need single hyphen, but if you get the error, you can easily sort it out. So I used ls -help. Now it will give me every arguments which I can use along with the commands. And because A same command is like, it's like it won't work everywhere for you. You need some arguments also to make it work, right? So with the help of the help command, you can find out the all the arguments like -a. Just now we use -a, right? -la, correct? So -a is used to do not ignore entries starting with dot, which means we gave the instruction that to also include the files which contains dot. That is simply for the hidden files. So that gave an instruction to list out, but also give me other informations. That was -a. Like that only we have B, C. Let's see the L we have used. We have used this one, right? Which one? Okay, so we have different formats. Just go through each and every one of it, and you can see that each and every arguments are having different usage. So that was for the ls. You can do the same thing for cd. Oh, sorry. I think cd is not having any flag values argument, so you can use cd by default as it is, because it is just used to change directories, nothing else. That is how we use a command. Is it clear to every one of you now? Any doubts how to use a command in Kali Linux terminal? That was the basic example of changing directories and listing out files. We have a lot of commands. I will explain you one by one each and every one of it. If any doubts, please type in the live chat. Okay. Now, for some of you, you might face some issues while installing or while using these commands. Okay. It's not same for everyone. It depends on the system, basically. So before using any commands, any tools in Kali, make sure that you update the directories first. Like Kali Linux is an open source operating system. It needs a repository to connect with, and then it downloads the updates from there only. That's why it needs internet, correct? So you can just update your repositories and everything. So for that, you can just type apt-get update. What is apt? It is the package manager. apt is the package manager, which contains all the packages, libraries, tools, and the other scripts for the Kali Linux, which is required for Kali Linux to work. Got it? So apt-get update. So it says permission denied. Now, why it says permission denied? Because we are trying to do this activity from a user folder. Remember, we are in the user folder now, which means we are inside the Kali user folder. Right now, I'm the Kali user. My username is Kali and Kali. Okay. So I'm not allowed to do these activities. So how to do that? First, either go to the root directory and make yourself as the root user. First option. Okay. Second, use the commands forcefully. Just use sudo followed by the actual command. Okay. These two ways we are having. Let's try out with the first way. But first go to the root directory. You can see here we are in the root directory now. And let's now run the command apt-get update. Again, it's denying. So let's now again start with the sudo. Now this is the last option, and for sure it will work. Okay. So it will ask you for password, obviously. So you see now it's working properly. It is downloading and installing the updates. The sudo is the ultimate command basically. But yeah, let's let it update now. So whatever commands might be missing from your system will be updated after the particular command. Okay. So let it finish out now. After this, we'll set up a laboratory for our work, like for our practical, like in order to explain proper usages of the Kali Linux, we need to set up a normal laboratory first with the help of some tools, nothing else. So yeah, this is now updated, and now we can use everything properly. That was the command. We saw cd and ls command. We'll see a few more later on. Before that, suppose if you want to use some tools, some applications, or some softwares of the Kali, you can click on the icon here and you will see a lot of options. Just like modules, they also separated, they also categorized the tools into module wise, like information gathering. Okay. In the information gathering, that is categorized as 0, 1, because the cycle is same for everyone. Like if you want to become an ethical hacker, if you want to become a cybersecurity expert, if you want to become a bug bounty hunter, it's all the same. Like you have to start with the proper steps. Like there are phases which is defined. Phase one to gather information, phase two to get a few more information and gain the access, phase three to maintain the access, phase four to clear out the logs and the path. That is how it is done. So that's why they also categorized it one by one. So information gathering will contain these all tools, softwares. So you can see DNS analysis, IDS, IPS identification, live host identification. These are the tools which is by default is available in the Kali. Just like that, we have vulnerability analysis. So we have these much of tools in vulnerability analysis. You can see Nmap is here. Nmap is here also. So if you have not attended our previous workshop, which was on network security fundamentals, we used Nmap in that. And you can see here it comes under vulnerability analysis. Then we have web application analysis, in which we have these tools, WP scan, skip fish and all, Bob suit. Then we have database assessment, password attacks. We have these much of tools for password attacks. So like that, we have different categories and we have different tools for that. Okay, this is a visual option, like a GUI options, but you need the knowledge of terminals to use these tools. Obviously, not all. There are some tools which is like graphical, but most of it you need commands to use. Got it? So let's now see the few other commands which you need to understand before proceeding to the practicals and everything. Okay, because practicals are needed to understand the whole commands of Kali Linux to mastering the Kali Linux. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, so after cd ls, we understood about -- help, like how to use the help command. Now let's manage files and folders. Okay, let's handle files and folders. Now suppose if you want to go to the root to the user directory to desktop, what command you will be using? Right now we are in the root directory, so I want to come to the desktop. Okay, so what exactly the command I will be using? Anyone, any idea? Just type in the live chat. cd \. We need to go inside home. Inside home we have Kali. So type the full command. What exactly will be the command used for that? I hope you got proper understanding on the directory structures. So it will be easy for you now to figure out what I'm asking, right? Yeah, cd, correct, home, and then Kali. Okay, cd, home, Kali. Inside Kali, we have desktop. Inside Kali, we have download, documents and download. Okay, you can press tab button to autocomplete. So right now we want to go to desktop. Just give the location, hit enter, and you see the location is changed to desktop. Type ls, and you can see that they are the files which is there on the desktop. That's how we can change directories, right? That is clear now. Okay, good. We can use clear to clear out the entire prompt. If it is getting out of the screen, just type clear and hit enter. It will clear out everything. After cd ls help, let's understand about mkdir. Okay. Anyhow, I will share a list of commands with you, a PDF file for list of commands of Kali Linux. You can go through that. There's a command which is required right now. That's why I'm explaining you about all these commands. mkdir. Now, suppose you need to create a file, a folder inside your Kali machine. Normally, obviously, we can create a new folder directly, but let's understand how it is done in the terminal. So you can use mkdir, which stands for make directory, and just give the file name. So right now, if we execute the command here, it will create a new folder inside the desktop, which means in here. It will create a folder only. It's not for file, remember. So let me create a new folder. Mastering Kali. So once I hit enter, you see mastering Kali is now created here. The folder is now visible here. Let's now go inside that folder. Okay, now we are inside the folder. We can see right now we don't have anything. It will just, we can see that only 2-3 dots. These are some default things. Just leave it. We can see nothing is here. So after mkdir, we can see how we can create a directory. Now let's see how we can create a file. Okay, the file, it's up to you what extension you want to use and all. But right now we are creating a normal file, a document file. You can give the extensions how you want to use it. So there are a lot of tools, libraries in order to do the same thing. Like if you want to create a new file, you can just create from here, or you can just type vi. Vi is nothing but a editor. Okay, vim is a editor which is basically used for editing files. Okay, nothing else. So let me get out of it. Yeah, so vi is the editor for editing files and creating files. So right now we don't have any files inside mastering Kali folder, so we can type vi hello.txt. You can give anything you want, html, php. Okay, I'm just giving txt. Enter, and you can see something like this will open. So if you are having that file name, that file with the same name, it will open that to edit. And if you are not having any file with that name, it will create a new one. I hope it is clear, right? Let's type something inside the file. So we don't have anything, any content inside the file. So for typing anything inside the file, we need to first get into the insert mode. To do that, press I button on your keyboard. Once you press I, you see it comes to insert mode. Correct? Now you can start typing. Suppose this is a text. Okay, right now we're in the insert mode. Okay, it's not like a notepad now that we can save as and all, but you can find out here if you want to. Can't see anything. We can't see anything. Yeah. So the default way is to save it with the help of the vi editor command. So right now we're in the insert mode. We finished out our typing. Just press escape button. Once you press escape button, it will go back, it will come out from the insert mode. Okay, now it's in the normal mode. We can't even type anything now. It won't insert anything. Now, once we come out the insert mode, we need to save it. Okay, and in order to perform commands on the file, we use colon first. Okay, this is the colon. You can see here, shift plus that key beside the L. Okay, this is the colon. Once you type this, after this, whatever you type, that will be executed as a command. I can use W to save, Q to quit, or WQ to save and quit. Okay, so I use WQ and hopefully it is saved and quit. Let's use the ls command to check that. And we can see hello.txt is there, which means, yeah, my file is here. Let's verify it visually also. Yeah, it is here. Open it. So hi, my name is Vikas Shah, and it is there. You can see the content. So right now, you can see that how we have created the file. Again, let's try the same command. Once we type the same command again, you will see that it is opening the same file. Okay, instead of creating a new one. So that's how it works. If you don't have any file, it will create a new one. If you have a file, it will edit it in the open edit mode. Okay, so to insert, I to get back from the insert mode, escape. To save it, use colon and W. It will save. To quit, use colon and Q. It will quit, or just use WQ together. W first, Q later. It will save first and quit then. That was the command to use the VI editor. Okay. And if you want to find out more about the VI editor, like how you can use VI editor more, you can find out with the help of help command. Like as usual, it is same for each and every command. That was the VI editor. Let's clear this. Now, after we created the file, you can see here, we have seen how to create a directory with the help of mkdir. We have seen how to create a file with the help of VI editor, right? Now let's see how to copy and paste it. Okay, copy and pasting. I will cover out. I will get through the questions later on. Let me finish out these first. So we have seen how to create the file. The next is how to copy and paste these files. Okay, first you have to understand all these basic. That's why. Now suppose we need to shift hello.txt to the desktop. I want to copy this file from this particular folder to desktop. Okay, we have an option to use CP. Okay, it stands for copy, then the file name, and the location where you want to copy it. Right now we're in the mastering Kali, so desktop. So we can just type the full location. And hit enter. You can see hello.txt is now copied here. It's here also, it's here also. This is how we copy a file or folder. You can copy anything. You want to, this is a exe software tool. I can copy it in any location just with the help of this command. This is the copy. Next is deleting and removing a file or a folder. Now suppose now you want to remove this particular file, delete this. Normally you can delete with the help of right click and all, but in the terminal, just use RM. It stands for remove. Okay, RM followed by the file name. So once it is done, you can just verify with the list command, and you can see it's now gone. There is no hello.txt file now. It is deleted. Sometimes you might find difficulties to delete the file. It will give you some errors and all. In that case, you can use rm-rf. That is used for removing forcefully. And that also you can find out with the help of help command. Okay. So these are the 4 to 5 basic commands which is used on daily basis. Okay. And that also, which will be also used by you also on daily basis once you start using Kali Linux. And I hope it is now clear to everyone, like how to use these commands. Any doubts, you can ask me now in the live chat. There is nothing, but suppose you are having some files name starting with hyphen and all, they won't take it as like a file name. Obviously, suppose I'm having a file name and I'm using RM. So normally we delete like this, right? This means it is the file. But if you type this, it won't work. Okay, it will give invalid option. So in that case, we use the hyphen FOO to skip the hyphen. So it is used to skip that part. So if the file and folder name contains like starts with this or dot and all, it will just skip it and find out the file name and delete it. One of you asked the concept of this one. Is it clear? Okay. So this is how we use the command. So this is the first part. So the command basically is having like, it will be having different section of it. This is the first part of the command. This is the arguments, and arguments start with hyphen. One of you were asking, is it comment or what? It's not comment. It's like the argument. It is used for passing out the arguments with the command. So sometimes it's just like, as I told you about the ls, we use ls like this and like this. So this hyphen is used to represent like, okay, this is the argument value. It will give us some argument. But suppose what if some file name is having like this, but it is not an argument, it won't work. So to skip that, we use the f and yeah, this is not command. This is not comment. It's the sign used for passing out an argument with the command. Okay, so I hope the basic commands are now clear. Let's now proceed further. Just give me 2 minutes, everyone. Okay. Okay, yeah. It's already 12. If you want to take a break for 5 minutes, please do it now, because we'll be having 1 and 2 hour session. Like we are having 1 2 hour more left. So we'll come back in 5 minutes. Okay. Meanwhile, if you want to type any questions, just leave it in the text box in the live chat. Let's see at 12:05. Okay. Hi. Hello everyone. I'm back again. I hope you're able to hear me. Please confirm in the live chat again if you all are here. Let's start again. Let me summarize whatever we discussed till now. We have discussed how to use the Kali Linux inside a virtual machine, how to use the virtual box, how to use few commands in the Kali Linux, some basic commands in the Kali, and how to get familiar with it. Okay. I hope you're having proper overview now on the basic of the Kali Linux. Now, why we use Kali Linux, that you already know. It is the machine which is used for penetration testing. So there are some stages in the penetration testing, and that's how we also use the Kali for. Okay. So in order to use the tools in the Kali, now you know how to use the Kali, how to use the basic commands. I will share some list of commands with you all, which you can use for your daily activities or for your practicals. Now, in order to use the tools in Kali, there are some tools which you can directly use as it is available by default. There are some tools which you need to install, update. There are some tools which you need to directly download and use manually also. And there are some scriptings also, which you might need to do manually. But before understanding those, let's understand the 5 stages of penetration testing. Okay. So I just explained you 10 minutes back, like the 4, 5 stages. Let me write down each and every stage so that you can understand properly. First phase is reconnaissance. Okay. First is reconnaissance. After that, we have scanning. Then we have gaining the access. After that, we have maintaining the access, maintain the access, and then clearing the tracks. Let's start with the first, reconnaissance. Now, if you have attended my previous workshop on the network security fundamentals, the practical we did on Nmap was a part of reconnaissance and gathering information. Okay. It also comes under scanning, but it's like getting some basic information so that we can proceed with our other activities. And for that, if you see in the Kali, let me share the whole screen. If you see in the Kali, for information gathering, that will be also like a part of reconnaissance, will be having these much of options. Okay. Now, reconnaissance will depend on you, on your target, okay, kind of information you're looking for. Now, suppose you're working for some ABC company and you got a job to find out vulnerabilities in ABC website. Okay. Your client want to find out vulnerabilities and bugs in that. You can start with the reconnaissance of the particular target or the website. You can start with DNS analysis. You can start with finding out the records of the DNS. Like there is some configuration a website is required to function. Okay. Like the website is hosted somewhere on the server, remotely somewhere on a domain name with the IP address, all these basic things you already know about, right? So DNS is very important part of it. And if you're able to get DNS information, you can proceed with the other scannings and other information gathering activities. So DNS analysis we can see here. So you can use DNS analysis and other options. Okay. That was like example I'm giving for reconnaissance. Let's get back to the whiteboard. After that, we have scanning. What is scanning? Now, suppose you're connected in a network. Okay. You might be connected remotely, or you might be directly connected in the local network or the particular network. You can proceed with scanning. Suppose you're having a target like the website your client gave you to scan, suppose. After finding out the basic information, you can get some other information like port numbers, operating system information, details about the services running on the port numbers, details about the infrastructure they are using, okay, their backend technology, like what technology the website is built on. No one will share you, like if you are working like with the proper permission, obviously they will share you everything, but it's your job, it's your work to find out all the information also. Okay. Now, After getting this information, you can proceed with the other activities like gaining access. Okay, that was scanning. Now, third is gaining access. This is the third phase where we try to now attack. Basically, we try to exploit. Okay, here we use multiple tools like Metasploit is one of the best example I can give you now. Then we have a lot of server-based tools also, like we have Akunetics, like we have like one of the major tools in the major scripts and the payload in the Metasploit which we can use, and that is all for gaining access. So we have multiple tools for that, like you can see in the on the screen. Okay, you can see vulnerability analysis here. That is the part where we do the gaining access. Okay, now in that we can find out multiple tools for finding out the vulnerabilities like OpenVAS. OpenVAS is like a tool which helps us to find out vulnerabilities on the server, okay, or the target. Now I will explain you one by one. Let's first of all, let me explain you about all the 5 stages. That was the gaining access. Then we have maintaining access, in which it's nothing but just take example. Suppose if there is a hacker and they hacked into a website. Now, as a maintaining access, what they will try to do, they try to leave a backdoor. Okay. Suppose if the bug is fixed, if it is patched, even then the hackers try to gain access from the backdoor, which they might create when they left, like when they complete their activity. Okay. Once they remove all the once they clear all the tracks, when they remove all the other sort of information which can lead to their details, they just remove everything, but they leave a backdoor which can give them access to just remotely connect. That's also there. So that is a part of maintaining access, like leaving a rootkit. Okay, that's a kind of backdoor. That is like a maintaining access. So even if after 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I want to again connect with my victim machine, I can just connect with the help of that. It's also like a kind of example of a malware. Okay, or Trojan also, you can see. You might have heard about Trojan horse and all. So those Trojan horses just give a lot of remote access to the attackers. That's like a maintaining access kind of thing. Okay, and the last is clearing the tracks. Now, it's known to everyone that whatever things we do in a system, whatever things we do in a machine, like even if you're using a mobile phone, every activity is getting logged somewhere. Even on the internet, you use Facebook, you use Google, you give your consent to do everything. So it will be obviously logged. Just like that, even a machine logs all the information. Now, right now, if I try to browse Google and if I try to check my network connections and the logs, I can see that my packets are getting sent over the network to Google server. Whatever information I'm looking for, it will be processed and sent back again to me. That's how it is done, right? In every case. Now, suppose, just give me a moment, everyone. Sorry. So yeah, so everything what we do, it gets logged somewhere. So whatever we are browsing on Google, whatever we are doing on the internet, it gets logged somewhere. Just like that in the machine also, it gets logged somewhere. Now suppose if a hacker is trying to connect with the system, that will be also logged. And if they try to clear the logs, basically they will try to clear the track. They're trying to clear the traps. Now suppose if you got to know your system got hacked, you got into a hacking activity and all, your data theft happens, some kind of thing happen with you. Okay, you will file a complaint, you will go to the cyber crime branches and all, will try to find FIR, and the cyber crime branch, they will try to those guys will try to find out the logs only in your system. They will try to find out the piece of information which can lead to the hacker. That's what they will do, right? That's what, if you try to log a complaint, the first thing they will ask is give the particular machine, okay, where the particular thing happened. If it is your desktop, they will ask for the CPU first. You have to give your CPU. If it is your laptop, you have to give your laptop. If it is for phone, you have to give your phone. So that they can go through it and find out the information. Okay, that's how it is done. For servers, now suppose you got a project to find out the bugs and all. Okay, and you're trying to find out if you found out that there is a hacking activity which happened on the website and the hackers stole customers' data, and you got to know about that, and you're trying to catch them now. You're trying to track the activities, how it happened, who connected, who did that. So normally, if you try to find out, you have to look into the logs file, server logs, who logged in, when logged in, what changes they did, right? What directories they edited, modified, deleted, saved, downloaded, everything is logged. So that is what clearing track is for. Like for hackers, they try to clear all the tracks, and for you, it's your job to find out all those log files. Got it? These are the 5 stages of penetration testing. Any doubts in these 5 stages, anyone? Please type in the live chat. Now, based on these 5 stages, we'll be using and looking into each and every tool, and I will show you how to use a normal tool, like how to use each and every tool properly. Okay, so reconnaissance, scanning, gaining access, maintaining the access, and clearing the logs or tracks. The other 5 stages of penetration testing. Okay. For suppose if you want to see your logs, you can just check into your Windows also. In Windows also, the logs are created somewhere. Okay, I will show you. Just give me a moment. Okay, so visually, if you want to see, we can use some softwares to view window log files. I'll show you that also. But this is the location where it gets saved everything, like the logs of each and everything. Okay, there's a way to check that. Let me just check that. What tool we basically use for that? I will show you an example of the log, and I will also show you like how with a single click we can clear all the logs in the Windows also. Just give me a moment. Oh yeah, we can see here also. Yeah, so you can see this event viewer. This is the normal tool which we can use in Windows to check for the logs. Windows logs applications. You can see here 14,000 events are here. So each and every log is here. Okay, like but everything, like whatever activity you're doing on the system, it gets logged here. And there are some options. You can see here clear logs. You can clear out each and every logs from directly from this particular event view. You can find out more information about each and every logs also. Okay, so this is the event viewer you can use. So one of you asked how to see the files. This is how we can check. Okay, safer to clear. It's like it doesn't matter because these are logs which you can clear. Okay, now suppose if you have enabled automatic updates, and there are a lot of things which matters here. which depends on the logs. Like suppose if Windows updates needs some logs to take care, like to check first before updating. And if you're removing system events and everything, whatever system events logged, it might lead to some issues. Okay, you can just remove the network logs, application logs, basically. Okay, based on the application, you can filter out and you can remove those logs. But yeah, you don't need to remove your logs if you are browsing, if you're using your own system. I'm just giving you a way of like to check out how you can see the information here, the logs. Okay, so whatever activity I'm doing, it gets saved here. Okay, I hope it's clear to now, everyone. Let's get back to the Kali now. Okay, now after like you got proper overview on the 5 stages, right? Now let me explain you about one of the most important tool in the Kali, which is known as Metasploit. Now Metasploit is nothing but an open source penetration testing tool. Now, just like Kali Linux, it gives Metasploit a wide variety of options. Like we can get good features when we have Metasploit for Windows also. But in Kali, it's like it's like very good to use, and I recommend to use in the Kali only because we use a lot of scripts and a lot of payload options we have, modifications we can do with the help of Metasploit. So it's a very like a full-fledged tool, you can say, for a penetration tester. So first, let's understand about what is Metasploit before looking into the other tools and how to use them. Okay. So penetration testing is like trying to find out vulnerabilities, bugs, and trying to fix it out as ethical hacker. That's what penetration testing means, right? Now, Metasploit is an open source penetration testing tool, which is written in Ruby. Okay, every one of you already know about Ruby, Ruby on Rails and all, right? Programming language. Now, what Metasploit gives is a framework. Okay, a framework like PHP. Okay, let's take example of PHP. PHP is a language, and we can create a websites with the help of PHP language, right? We can use PHP how we want to use it. We can create our algorithms. We can write our own code how we want our website to function. To make it look good, we'll be using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and other languages. Okay, that is also a language. In that, we can get a framework like CodeIgniter, Laravel. Okay, you might have heard about CodeIgniter, Laravel, and all. It's a framework based on PHP. So it is a framework which is coded in PHP and created a modular view kind of structure. So the way of function, the way of using will be also different. Okay, just like that, Metasploit is a framework in which we get a lot of database of public exploits and vulnerabilities. So suppose if you're able to find out a vulnerability somewhere, then you can use Metasploit to use that vulnerability, because it will be having a database, it will be having the option to manually use a payload and perform the activities. Okay, so I will show you an example. That is how Metasploit is done. Ruby is a programming language. Okay. So that was the Metasploit, and because it has a large number of database of public exploits and all and vulnerabilities, you can easily perform a lot of activities with the help of Metasploit. Okay. Also, one of the most important feature of Metasploit is you can perform remote attacks. Okay. Now, suppose if you are having a target IP address and the target is hosting some service which is vulnerable, and there is a vulnerability for that, and there is a exploit also written for that. It's already there on the internet. You can use that exploit to target that IP address with the help of that exploit, and you can remotely connect and perform the activities like whatever you want to do. Like There will be an example I will be showing you where we can hack Windows operating system with the Kali. There we use Metasploit, and it will simply give you an access to control the system remotely. That we can do with the help of Metasploit. Okay, I will be explaining you in a local environment, but the screen is fine. This is the same screen. It's not stuck. Okay. Okay, so let's proceed then. Let us open Metasploit. So you can find Metasploit from here also. Metasploit framework. You can click here, or you can just launch directly from here, MSF console. Just type MSF console. I will start the Metasploit console framework. Okay, now you can see here the Metasploit framework is open. Now let me explain you about all these things. Now here you can see, as I explained you already, that Metasploit contains a large number of database of public exploits and vulnerabilities. And you can see here, by default, when we use Kali, when we update Metasploit, we can simply see that here we have these number of exploits, auxiliaries, posts, payloads, and other things. This is nothing but script, okay, which you can find out in your Kali inner's root directory, okay. Now you can use your own exploits, or you can use the exploits given by the Metasploit. So you can see here MSF6 is written here, right? Because we are in the console mode now. We can perform the activities like using an exploit. We can just set, use, and perform various things like to set up the target, to set up the exploit, and to start the exploitation. That we'll see in an example later on. But that is how Metasploit looks like. Okay. Any doubts, anyone? We'll see the commands later on. If you want to know about more commands on the Metasploit, you can use the help command. Okay. Okay. So now suppose if you want to use exploit. Okay. Now one of you asked what is exploit. This is the number of exploit Metasploit is having. Exploit is like suppose you're working for a client and you got a job to find out vulnerabilities in the website, ABC website, and you got to know that there are few vulnerabilities. Okay. So if a hacker is able to find out those vulnerabilities, it means a bug. So they can create an exploit for that. Okay, with the help of coding. Okay, with the help of Python, Ruby, or any other programming language. Okay, now once the exploit is written, that's a piece of code, we can use that exploit to perform the activity. Okay, we'll be writing down the code with instructions that once we give this command what to do, right? And it is only possible to do with the coding and the programming only. So most of the exploit which we use, most of the tools which we use for our hacking activities and other purposes, it's all based on code only, right? And it's more easy to do this way based on Kali instead of using a software on Windows, because it's not possible to fully launch a software for Windows platform which can do these kind of activities. It's more secure over Kali Linux or Parrot or Debian-based operating system. So we're inside the MSF console now. Suppose if you want to use exploit, you can type use exploit. Okay, it will go to the exploit folder, just like CD. We use exploit. Now we can just use various exploits. We're having a lot of exploits. I will show you the list of exploits we have right now. So there is one exploit for Windows. You can type Windows. There are exploits for Android. You can type Android. Okay, I don't think Mac is there. Okay. So that is few example. I will show you once let me show you a few examples here. Then I will go back to the root directory and I will show you the other exploits and all the auxiliaries. So use Windows exploit. There is an exploit known as VNC. VNC stands for virtual network connection. Okay, so VNC is, there is an exploit, there is a vulnerability in Windows that you can see user's screen remotely. I can see your screen, what you are doing. Okay, like mirroring, you can say, like team viewer in any desk, but without permissions. Got it? So VNC is one of the vulnerability. So there is an exploit for that, which already is there by default in the Metasploit. So I can use exploit Windows VNC real VLC client. This is the script. I will show you how the script looks like. Now, once you enter, you see that we are into the current exploit mode. Okay, which means that we can now perform the activities. So you just now to give some information, some details like IP address, port numbers, and other things that you can also find out here. Type options, and you will find out what exact data you need to give. First, you will see is this one is the most important, lhost. That will be the IP address of the target. Okay, the IP address, the port, the IP address of your machine, not the target, sorry. The IP address of your machine, like from where the activity is happening, from where the exploit is getting hosted. So I will explain you a bit more about these things later on. So this is how we use an exploit. This is how we use an exploit. And these are the options. You can set the option and then you can just type exploit. You can see it's working, but we have not done anything yet. Like we have not created any payloads, nothing. So I will show you a proper explanation later on. So right now, this is what? This is looking for, this is creating a session on my network. Okay, and once someone connects with my network, I will be able to see their IP address and I can see their VNC sessions. I can establish a session between my computer and their computer, and I can see live whatever they are doing on the screen. Got it? Okay, so let me show you a few more information about it. And let me know if you're having any doubts till now, anyone. Let me escape from it. This is how we use the exploit, okay? So let me close this terminal. Let me show you the exploit folders, the actual so for that, just go to the root directory, and here we need to go to var. Let's find out. Let's see where we find out Metasploit. Taking a bit of time, just let me check where is the actual location, because sometimes it depends on the version of the Metasploit. So mine is 6. It might be in the one of the folders. Just give me a moment. Yeah, so here we can see that we have the auxiliaries, encoders, evasions, exploits. Okay, so let's check out the exploits. So we have Android, Windows, which we were using. Let's go to the Windows. And we were using VNC, right? This one. And the VNC, this is the one we were using, real VNC client.rb, which means it is written in Ruby language. So let's use with the help, let's open it with the help of VI editor, or you can just use Nano. Nano is fine because we don't want to edit anything. And this is the actual exploit. So you see that it's all coding, it's all code. So this is something which I explained you a few minutes back, that it is like a Metasploit contains a huge database of exploits and public exploits, basically, which you can use without any issues, or you can create your own exploits and use it here. So for that, you don't have to do anything. Just create create a new exploit and save it here in any of these files in the categories. Got it? So once you start doing this, once you start getting familiar with the penetration test, once you start getting familiar with the targets, you can easily write your own scripts, because that is one of the most important part. Okay, because once you directly interact with the targets, once you go deeper to the target information, the language the target is built on, the backend technology, it is very important to find out first. Okay, so first, once you get to know about the vulnerabilities, you can use the exploits based on the vulnerability. So this is the Metasploit framework. After that, let's understand about one of the most important tool after Metasploit, which is known as Wireshark. Okay, and after that, I will show you how to use each and every tools, and after that, I will show you how to use the repositories. Like if you don't have any tools available, how to download it and use it in the Kali. Got it? So let's close this. Now, when we start gathering information, once we start looking for information about target and all, the first thing we understood about is the penetration testing with the help of Metasploit. Well, if we have proper details about our target, we can use the Metasploit with the help of different exploits. But Wireshark also plays a very important role here, because suppose if you're connected into a network, you can get more information about it. And Wireshark is a packet capturing tool. Okay, so Wireshark, with the help of scripts like aircrack-ng, scripts like airidon, scripts like Metasploit also we can connect with. So Wireshark will give us all those possible information about the network, the packets, the data which is being transmitted over the network, and then you can use those packets to decrypt with the help of other tools and other methods in the Kali Linux. That's why I'm covering out the Wireshark now. Okay, so just give me a moment. Okay, so this is a Wireshark normally, and once you open a Wireshark, you'll see that the adapters, which basically by default you're using now. So I'm having the ETH0. This one I can use. So let's start capturing on this one. So now once someone starts interacting with anything in my network, you can see the IP address is 240 is I think for my system, and 36169 is for the Windows, I think, which I'm using. And it will start just capturing. Okay. So once like we need at least good amount of data to capture every information, every possible information. So it's recommended to just keep the packet capturing, keep on going. I will show you an example later on some basic data, how to capture it and how to use the other tools in the Kali to get the information. So right now we can stop this capturing and we can save the file. Okay. The file will be saved somewhere here. Oh, it's saved here. Okay, no worries. So now we can use that packet file to look into the information what we are able to capture from the Wireshark. Okay, so you can go sit in a network where there are multiple users using the internet. You can connect with the same network, and you can start capturing the packets from the particular network. Okay, that was the Wireshark. Now after Wireshark, there is another important tool which you need to set up before proceeding. Okay, so let's open terminal and let me check if it is there or not. It's known as proxy chains. Okay, let's see if it is there. It can't load. Let's see what is the issue. Okay, so sometimes when you try to edit some file which is there in the root directory, you need to make sure that you use sudo so that you don't get the errors and the permission kind of issues. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to edit the proxy chain file to use the dynamic change option. Done. It's trying now. Okay, so now you can see here that this is my IP address. Okay, let's now try proxy chains -h command to see the help options, or just use the command firefox google.com. Okay, no worries. We'll cover out this some other time. I think there's I missed out some library here. So proxy chain, what this will do is it's like a very popular kind of library. So let me just check for that library, that file which we are missing, and that will be sorted then. Just give me a moment, everyone, 1 minute. Okay, got it. So let's start this from beginning. Okay, it shows for someone loaded and active. Nice. Okay. So basically what we'll do is we are setting up a Tor connection, as anonymous connection, like basically where we will be able to be anonymous, okay, with the safe browsing. So it will simply create a proxy chain, and we won't be, we will be so a network won't reveal an our IP address to the recipient, basically whatever services you are trying to access, browse, they will get a proxy IP address of yours. So let's see what's the issue here. So what error I got here is I don't have the services running, so I will install it. apt-get is for the packet manager, install Tor. Just let it finish out. Just let this finish, everyone. Sorry for the interruption. Some packages are missing, so let it update, and then I will install the Tor package. Okay. So to set up the proxy chain, we first need the Tor services. Okay. So we just need to install the Tor services, run the Tor services, set the proxy chain file, and then with the help of simple command, we'll be able to set up the proxy. Okay, so I think it's done. Let's see if it is working now. Yeah, so it's installing and it is done. So let's see the status now for the Tor service, and it is disabled and disabled. So let's yeah. So it is now installed. Now let us go to edit the configuration file. So just remember the steps, everyone. What we did first is we installed Tor services. Okay, then we got the proxy chain. It's already there, and now we are editing the proxy chain file. So you have to make sure that comment the Robin chain, strict chain, and just uncomment the dynamic chain. Okay. The proxy DNS should be also removed. Like comment is must not be there. It should be like this. And socks 4 will be same. Just leave it as it is. Okay, now let's save. Okay. Now everything is done. The configuration is done. So let's now restart the Tor service. Let's check the status. Okay. So that is running now. Let's open a new terminal and let's now see if it is working now. Let's verify first our IP address. Now this one. So now let's start a proxy chain. Now we need to give the browser name where it will happen and the search engine. So we can use Bing or Google, whatever you want. Proxy chains, sorry. So it's opening Google. Something it is showing the actual location. Let me check. Or you can also try to execute in your system, everyone, and let me know in the live chat. Okay, I think I might be missing something here. I will check that why it is there. But this is the step how you need to follow to make sure you start the proxy chain, and your IP address will be changed in that case. Okay. Share the error which you are getting while executing the command. Okay. So yeah, this is how we use it basically. Let's try to restart everything. Okay, so we see socket error timeout. Okay. Okay, at least we got some error now. Let's fix this now. Okay, so it's taking some time, but it's obviously it is opening. Let's see my IP. The connection got a little slow. Obviously, it will be because of the thing we are doing. It is using proxy, and yeah, now we can see that my location is changed from India to unknown country, not able to recognize only. Okay, this is how we do it, and you can see in the background the proxy chain is working, which means no one will be able to detect us now. No one will be able to find out from which IP address we are trying to browse the internet. Okay, so that is it. It took a little extra time, but no worries. Any doubts, anyone in this, let me know. That was the proxy chains. That was the last part on how to set up the environment, and I think that is it. How we set up and how we get ready for everything to use in the Kali Linux. Anyone, any doubts, let me know in the live chat. Okay, then. So let's proceed, everyone. That was the proxy chains. Okay. You can go through the recording if you got any issues while understanding. Okay. Look, I can see some of you are sharing errors in the live chat, but that is not acceptable because I can see some of you are sharing errors with a spelling mistake. Now, while taking a session, I can't fix out those issues for you because that is something what you need to fix out from your end. Okay, you're not writing spellings correct, so I can't do anything in that. And please don't waste my time also because of those things. Okay, genuine problem, genuine things are like it's like something which, look, whatever steps I'm explaining, if you follow those steps, 110% will be able to do that. Okay, and if you're not able to do that, something you might be missing. Look, when I take sessions, every time when I get some error, like each and every time I mention, I might be doing something wrong. I might be doing something wrong. And that you have to understand first before you get into cybersecurity coding or any other kind of thing in the IT. Okay. You do something wrong. That's why the program doesn't work. Okay. So if I'm using the same steps, if it is working for me, it will work for you also. There are only some things which you need to fix from your end. Right now, one of you shared spelling mistake kind of command. So that is something which is because of some other error. It's not because the process I shared is wrong. So try to pay attention to small queries, commands, small like texts also, because a single mistake can easily can give you problems and a lot of issues. Okay. So yeah, that is it for that proxy chains. Let's proceed everyone to the next one, which was the Wireshark. As I explained you about Wireshark, how to use that, let me show you an example now. Now, suppose you are into a particular network and you start your Wireshark. First, let's open Firefox. Now, once we stop that the service proxy chain, we will get back to the normal. Yeah, we can see our actual IP address now. Yeah, it is the actual IP address now. Okay. Now, what we need to do is let's start Wireshark and let's start capturing. So we'll use the adapter which we are using, like which we are using the internet now. And to verify that, you can simply go to the terminal and type ifconfig. So I'm having ETH0. Okay, this is my adapter for using the internet. This one. Let's double click that. So you see, it started looking for the packets which is getting transmitted on the particular network. So now what we can do is we can test out logging in on some pages, or we can just try to browse some websites, and then we'll get back to the Wikipedia. We'll get back to the Wireshark, and we'll see the information if it is getting captured there or not. Okay. So let's go to the Firefox. We'll be able to see here once we try to interact with this website. So you can find out in between these packets. Okay, I will show you some ways to do that. Let's first see some other example. You can see here, this connection is not secure, which means it is not having SSL layer, which means it can help us. Okay, this is the IP address, I think, for this website 240. So let's try to log in here with some anything like any like any details, like just take anything and just try to log in. You can see here, it is sending the data here. We have to find out that information. Just give me a moment. So we can see here, this is the packet. And if you go in that particular packet, you will be able to find hypertext transfer protocol. This is the layer where we can get information, okay? So it is HTTP, so obviously it will be in plain texts. Let's see if we can find out the information, like the username and password I provided. Oh, okay, sorry. Here it is, I think so. I didn't make it big. Oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry, I was not having the full screen, so you were having issue to find out. So you can see here the username and the password, demo Vikash and demo. This is what I used to log in, right? So I can see here that we can easily track, we can easily capture the packets. And if the packet is getting transmitted over a not secure layer, it will basically be able to get easily tracked. Like hacker can easily get into a network, and if you're not using a HTTPS secure website, I can easily see the passwords and other details from the packets. So what I did is a lot of data was traveling, so I used TCP contains, which means like the transmission control protocol layer, the TCP layer transmits all these kind of data. So the TCP contains demo Vikash, which means I know that I gave that information. You can simply filter out based on that domain name also. Test you. Okay. Based on the domain name also you can test out. You can see here, we'll get these much of information. So obviously it will be very hard to find out the actual piece of information. That's why I used my username to search to make it narrow. That's what. So this is how I use the Wireshark to get this kind of information. And it doesn't matter which service you're using. You can basically get into each and every kind of network and steal the information. Like from a, if we take this from a ethical hackers point of view, we'll be able to know how black hat hackers do things. These are all activities, so you can protect and defend against those hacking activities. So you can make the network secure. You can implement HTTPS SSL layers in between your servers and all. It will make the data more secure. As you can see that how we were able to find out the password. Same way, if someone is browsing anything on the internet and you are having Wireshark, you can use this tool to capture the packets. And suppose even if they're using SSL layers, like even if they're having HTTPS, even if it is secure, but there are some SS certificates which is not that much of secure, and that also Wireshark can easily crack. Not easily, like obviously we need some tools, third-party tools to crack those data. For example, suppose you want to have Wi-Fi. What do? You can connect with Wireshark and you can check for any connections happening in between the network. And if someone tries to enter the Wi-Fi password, first thing is you can see here. Second, you can use aircrack ng to decrypt the password. Like obviously, once someone connects to the internet with the Wi-Fi, suppose you don't know the password, you can use aircrack ng and the packets which is captured from the Wireshark. You can combine them together and you can crack the Wi-Fi password. Okay. So that is how we use the Wireshark. Any doubts, anyone till now? Let me know in the live chat. I hope this part is very clear to you. So one of you asked about penetration testing automation. That is like we can do with the help of Red Hat Linux enterprise solutions and all. Okay. Those options are there in that. So yeah, that is how we use the Wireshark. I hope everyone is having clear understanding now. Okay. Now let's do a short practical on Metasploit on how to connect with a target remotely. That will be common for uh, each and every activities. Like if you want to use some other scripts, the same way you can do. So if you remember a few minutes back, we did a Metasploit, like we saw how to use the exploit. Now we'll proceed and I will show you how to do it in real time and how to properly execute it. So I will show you one different exploit, not the same one, not the VNC. Let's open terminal. Now here we just need to type sudo msf console, start the Metasploit framework. Once it is done, just use the exploit, just like I explained. Now we'll do Windows. And we'll use something known as HTS server. Okay. Now we selected the exploit. So if you remember how to check the options, I showed you, you can use type options or you can just type like this, show option. They are having these options. Okay. So we just yeah, here are the options: SRV host, SRV port, SSL certificate if you want to give and all. Let's set up all these options. First, let's set the L host. L host is a local host, our IP address. Let's check our IP address. Host is now set. Now let's set the SRV host, which will be the same IP address. Set the port number to 8111. By randomly, I'm doing this one. Okay. So all the things are done. To verify, just type show options. Yeah, it's all thing done. SSL is false, just leave it as it is. And now type exploit. So we can see here, the exploit is now running. Now what we need to do is, we just need to send the user to this link. Once the user clicks on this link, we'll get the full functionalities and everything like with the help of this one. Okay. So I started. Okay, let's go to the IP address. Now you can give this link to anyone. We can see here that we open the URL and it is downloaded this thing. Okay, now we just need to run the file. Let me see what is the issue here, why it's not running. Okay, let's try doing this in Windows. I think that will work. Okay, got it. So that is what we did. That is the same option what you also need to do, correct? So everyone, just once someone opens the link, there will be a file which will be downloaded and you can just simply run it. I think we have to, yeah, we have to make sure that we properly crypt the file. What is crypting is we need to make sure that our antiviruses are not able to detect our file. That is why the issue is coming here. Now the steps are same. The user just need to open your link once, the file will be downloaded, and you will get an interface to control it here with lot of options. So right now I can't disable in my Windows machine. For that, as a practical environment, you can set up a Windows computer again in the virtual machine as a new instance. Just like Kali Linux, create a new instance for Windows, any version. And in that, make sure to disable all the antiviruses and Windows Defender. And for the practical, I'm saying. And if you want to do this in real time, if you want to bypass the antivirus scanning, searching engines, you need to crypt your particular file. Crypting is nothing but making sure that the antivirus is not able to detect your signature and your software information. What is the actual instructions you gave to the particular software? Because they try to scan the instructions only, like they try to find out what permissions the software is having, whether they're asking for too much information, they're getting too much information without your consent. So all these things makes antivirus detects a malware thing, malware software or script. So we can use scripters and all. That is a separate thing. But yeah, that's how we do it. Okay. Any doubts? Anyone in this? Let me know. This is how we perform the exploitation. So for now, I give you an example of this one, this exploit, HTA server. You can use VNC exploit. You can use reverse TCP connection exploit. That's also one of the most popular kind of exploit for hacking Windows computer. And this one is like with the help of link and file. You can also create an exe file. You can see here, this is a file which I created for one of the practical of one of my classes. And this exe file I can easily share on or to the user, which when they download it, install it, I will be having every access, like I can have full access of their computer system in the terminal. And if they're having Android, I can create .apk exploit for that. And the same thing we can do. Any doubts? Anyone? Let me in the live chat. Yeah, just now I said, if in the real time you need to crypt your file. Crypt means make it undetectable from antiviruses. Okay, that's a separate thing. Okay, to make sure your virus or your malware or your file or your payload is undetectable, and to make that work, it's a totally different like scenario. There you have to use different cryptos. There are some paid cryptos and they are very costly, obviously. Otherwise, you need to know a good and strong programming to make it work for free if you want. Otherwise, you have to purchase some softwares from different authors. They are for which provide softwares for crypting your files. Okay. So that was the exploit what we used here. For some of you are asking for Android, you can simply use Android instead of Windows. Okay. You can, I just showed you, Windows, how to use that particular exploit to use. You can use Windows. And if you want to use Android, you can simply go and see what kind of exploits we have in the window, in the Android. So let me show you that. We have ADB, the Android device, that normal package manager and all. We can create APKs with the help of that. We have this local. This one also is very popular. Like most of the users can use this one. Okay. And normally, when you want to do it for Android, you can create a APK for that. And in order to create a APK, you can use reverse TCP exploit in that case, which works for both Android and Windows. So in that case, if you want to create a payload, especially for an Android, a particular platform, you can use MSF Venom. Okay, MSF Venom is a command which is used to create payload for a particular target. So if you're planning to use a particular payload, and that payload needs some software to be generated, some malware to be generated, then you have to use MSF Venom. There are some requirements. So suppose if you want to do reverse TCP injection, VNC inject, if you want to use VNC inject exploit, in that case, you need to create payloads. Otherwise, like the HTA server, like there was no need of creating anything, right? So there are some ways which is different sometimes. So suppose if you want to create for Android, like most of you are asking for Android, you can just simply do like this, Android Metapreter. Like this is one of the example I'm giving for reverse TCP. Okay. And then you can use the format. the output file. Form you can give. Of other arguments you can pass for it depends on the requirements. Okay, invalid. Just a minute. So again, yeah, we need to use some of the options, but you can see here, this file is generated here at least now. This is Android APK file. Okay, so depends on the exploit you want to use. Based on that, you can create a payload for that. So we can define a lot of options. Okay, and once the payload is installed in the victim's target's machine, you can start the MSF console, then set up the payload, set up the exploit, set up the L host, set up the L port, type exploit. Once the exploit is payload is installed, you will be able to control the victim's computer, target computer remotely. That is how Metasploit is fully functionally used. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many other practicals you want to do with the Metasploit, the way of using will be exactly same. Any doubt, anyone? Write in the live chat. Any doubts, even in the Metasploit, let me know in the live chat. I hope the Android part is clear. Okay, now it depends. You can proceed ahead with the different practicals, but the way of usage will be same, and this will help you out to sort out different errors and issues which you might face while doing the practicals. Okay, so that is it for the session, everyone. Okay, now suppose if you face any issue in finding out the exploits, you can simply go to exploitdb.com. On exploitdb.com, you can find out a lot of exploits which you can use for Metasploit if it is not there in the Metasploit database. You can go here, you can find out a lot of exploits. You can see here exploits. This is a remote code execution exploit for a PHP application. You can just use the exploit and find out the target who is using the particular software, and then you can target them easily, and that's how it is done. Okay, so that is it for today's session, everyone. I hope you liked it, and that was how we use Metasploit, how we use the other tools in the Kali Linux. Now we hope soon we'll be having another session on Parrot operating system, where I will explain you about how to use Parrot, and we'll carry on the practicals what we did here with some advanced steps, advanced methods, but in other operating system, that is Parrot. Sooner we'll get an email about this with a notification. So that is it for this session, everyone. This workshop was for like Kali Linux, and I hope you got proper overview about it. Okay. So if you have any other queries, if you have any doubts, any concerns, you can simply send us an email, and the support team will help you out on that. Okay. That is it for the workshop, everyone. Now you can leave the workshop, and the recording will be available and will be sent via email to every one of you. You can get it by today evening. Okay. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you liked the workshop. And again, if you want to contact via support, you can go to the Discord. I'm there available on the Discord. You can directly message me on there, and you can also send an email. Okay, so I hope to see you everyone in another session, in the next session, upcoming session, whatever topic it will be, you will be informed about it. And once again, thank you. Have a good day ahead. The recording will be available and will be informed. Thank you for joining, everyone. Once again, bye-bye. See you.